So the Minister of Finance is killing us with tax. We are like prisoners in our own home. We are under attack. Come on, people, sing it with me. Sing it out.
Tell them we fed up. Had them back alive.
We fed up.
Cause them is wolf in disguise.
Fed up.
And they're playing games, so we not voting them again.
We fed up.
Hope you understand.
We fed up.
B&M never had a plan.
We fed up.
And they're using we, so we voting for the UNC. The claim say they love we.
Oh, no.
The claim say they care. The claim say, the claim say. They don't have a clue what to do, but put taxes on me and you. Take back the food card and then see things hard. The way we live like dog in the yard.
So why they moving so? I really don't know. Oh, them don't like the poor people in the ghetto. This is what I want you to know.
Tell them we fed up, had them back alive.
We fed up.
Cause them is wolf in disguise.
Fed up.
And they're playing games, so we not voting them again.
We fed up.
Hope you understand.
We fed up.
B&M never had a plan.
Fed up.
And they're using we, so we voting for the UNC. The claim say they love we.
Oh, no.
The claim say they care. The claim say, the claim say. We was red and ready, now listen to me. Like the one telling we red and hungry. I hope only see what they're doing to we. And they say they care about we.
We can't take it no more. This is for sure. It's time for the policy to go. Because the people don't want you anymore.
Tell them we fed up, had them back
We
alive.
fed up.
Cause them is wolf in disguise.
Fed up.
And they're playing games, so we not voting them again.
We fed up.
Hope you understand.
We fed up.
B&M never had a plan.
Fed up.
And they're using we, so we voting for the UNC. The claim say they love we.
Oh, no.
The claim say they care. The claim say, the claim say. Tell them we fed up. Yeah, the people
We
crying.
fed up.
Why the crime rate so high?
Fed up.
Food prices gone up.
The people, why you know we fed up on that?
We fed up.
So let's talk about now.
We fed up.
How the baby grant and food grant gone?
Fed up.
Yeah, you talk about the past.
The people, why you know we fed up on that?
We fed up.
Let's talk about now.
We fed up.
Let's don't talk about the past. Let's speak about now. What's going on now? The issues now.
We fed up.
Fed up on them.
We fed up.
Say we fed up on them.
Fed up.
The people fed up on them. Fed up on them. We fed up. We fed up. We fed up. Everybody now. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Hey.
Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, yeah.
It's time to make a difference. It's time to turn that page. We got to do the right things if we want brighter days. Cause things ain't getting easy and the road ahead is tough. It's up to you and I to make the madness stop.
Every day the things getting harder, and every day the things getting rough, and every day they hike the food prices, and they implementing more tax for the sake of our twin nation and the youths of the next generation. Let's stand united, so we're not divided. Let's show them now and send them a message now.
Show them that we're the voice of hope.
Send them a message now.
Show them that our country ain't no joke.
Send them a message now.
Show them that we're the ones who care.
Send them a message now.
Oh, 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 yeah, yeah.
Everybody now.
Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, yeah.
twin nation, and the youth are the next generation. Let's stand united, show we not divided. Let's show them now and send them a message now.
Show them that we are the voice of hope.
Send them a message now.
Show them that our country ain't no joke.
Send them a message now.
Show them that we are the ones who care.
Send them a message now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do you know that in 2016, 66 liters of diesel cost $100? Today, under the PNM, you get 20 liters of diesel for $100. The diesel you paid $100 for under the UNC now costs $327 under the PNM, which directly affects the cost of food, transport, and services. Guess who I'm voting for next time?
Welcome to the United National Congress, Secure Cottage meeting. We take this opportunity to thank you for your support. Together, we can make a difference and secure our nation's future. Now please stand for the national anthem and then remain standing for the prayer. Thank you.
Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Almighty God, most beneficial and merciful, Creator of the universe and embodiment of divine wisdom and light, we come before you with thanksgiving and praise. May your will be done in our nation as it is in the heavens. Please bless our political leader, party officials, activists, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us the grace to always see good, be good, and do good, and the courage to serve the people. Protect us as we stand against injustice and iniquity, and inspire our endeavors to find the right solutions to the problems that are affecting our fellow citizens. Grant that we may always work together with humility and respect for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of our country. Tonight, Dr. Roodal Moonilal, MP David Lee, Senator Jearlean John, and keynote speaker Kamla Persad-Bissessar, live from UNC headquarters in Grand Central, Shogunas. Welcome to our cottage meeting.
Thank you very much, and may I, on behalf of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, our distinguished and esteemed political leader and this country's next Prime Minister. May I, on behalf of the National Executive and all parliamentarians and councillors, aldermen, mayor and chairmen, all our supporters and friends, let me welcome you to this meeting which will represent the final meeting in December of 2024. Because I want to tell you something here this evening. The next December, we will be celebrating as the new government in this Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Before we get into the meat of our program this evening, may I, on your behalf, brothers and sisters, colleagues and friends, extend on behalf of our leader and the executive of our great party and our membership running in the hundreds of thousands, we would like to express our collective condolences on the passing, brothers and sisters, of a minister in the Ministry of Education, the late Lisa Morris Jearlean and her 2 children, who perished today in a fire in a Rima. Brothers and sisters, you and I could have heard the shrill voices and the cries coming from that raging fire as the children were crying out for rescue. They perished. I would like, brothers and sisters, as a mark of respect, another colleague of ours, his aunt, Brother Brian Beg, Amina Mohammed, her throat was slit on Saturday evening after a house invasion and after stealing, relieving the family of thousands of dollars and jewelry. They slit her throat. Brothers and sisters, there are thousands of people who have died over the last 10 years. Close to 5,000. And you know what is even more alarming? The vulnerable, the children, the elderly, the pensioners, they are the ones who have fallen prey to these criminal elements in this country. And they are the ones that we are supposed to be protecting in this land. I would like all of you to stand in a moment, in a minute, silence as we pay respect to the former minister in the Ministry of Education, her children, and her husband and child who is still recovering at the hospital today, and also Amina Mohammed and her family. May we just stand in silence for 1 minute, please. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, colleagues and friends. Let me welcome all of you once again to the big tent of the rising sun of the United National Congress here this evening at Chagonas, our headquarters. We have moved under the leadership of our distinguished and esteemed leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, from a period of democracy between 2010 and 2015 to one of kleptocracy. Don't get tied up. When we talk about a kleptocracy, we are talking about a government run by a gang of thieves, bandits, crooks, and they have been running this country for the last 10 years, brothers and sisters. And what we witness in the last few hours in our nation is what tens, hundreds of thousands of people have been experiencing in different ways. But more specifically, when it comes to the issue of crime, would you believe, brothers and sisters, as we speak, in 2022, we had 605 murders. In 2023, we had 675 murders. And right now, we are competing to outdo 2022 because we get in different figures. The Express tells us it's over 600 thus far. And the other newspapers are saying 585, 590. What we do know is that the murder toll, as we speak this evening, is well over 590 citizens. And we still have another 15 days to go. So where are we going to end up? Are we going to end up, brothers and sisters, at the end of December 31st with the highest murder rate in our nation's history since independence? 605 murders have been the highest since 1962. And the trajectory is telling us we can reach as high as 625 by the 31st of December 2024. Brothers and sisters, fear grips our nation in this country today, our people. And therefore, the United National Congress offers to the people in the next general elections a new hope, a new vision, fresh ideas to bring about transformation and diversification in this nation. That is what we are committed to doing. And therefore, we offer Trinidad and Tobago through our leader. We offer quality national leadership for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what we are offering. And that comes in the form. That is coming in the form, brothers and sisters, and in the image of our leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. We offer her on behalf of the people of our great party to this nation quality national leadership to take our country forward. That is what we are committed to doing, brothers and sisters. So I would like to let you know that we have a very tough, well, I should say very interesting, program this evening. We have a battery of powerful speakers here this evening to address you. And the first person I would like to introduce you to is no other person than our Chief Whip. I want to introduce you to one of our deputy political leaders of our great party. I want to introduce you to our sitting member of parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre. And I want to give you the assurance today that David Lee will return as the MP for Claxton Bay in the next general election. Put your hands together and warmly welcome Brother David Lee.
Thank you, Chairman Mark. It never ceases to amaze me. Good night, Sitaram. Assalamu alaikum to all my family here tonight. Let me say good night to our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar SC, who will be joining us shortly. My parliamentary colleagues, my UNC family, my national executive family, and let me recognize in the front row here, Mr. Jack Warner, for being here tonight. I also would like to recognize the winning candidate for San Fernando West, Dr. Michael Dowlat, is here tonight. UNC family, let me get on to business. My time is short. UNC family and friends, throughout Trinidad and Tobago, tonight I call on you to stand with the UNC in stopping the national destruction and massacre that has engulfed every single aspect of our life due to this wicked PNM. You know Trinidad and Tobago has reached failed nation status when elderly are brutalized. In 1 weekend, an elderly man was kidnapped right in Bamboo. And then an elderly woman who's related to our colleague, Mr. Brian Big, her throat was slit, as Wade Mark said. Trinidad and Tobago, the national destruction which has been spreading like a cancer throughout Trinidad and Tobago, must stop. Tonight, we put Trinidad and Tobago on high alert. We put Trinidad and Tobago on crisis watch. That yet another critical lifeline of this country, another crown jewel, has fallen into severe problems. The National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago, what we know it as NGC, is in trouble. The NGC has made another major loss of $1.3 billion for the year ended 2023. For the second time in its history, the second time in only 3 years, the NGC has made a loss. In 2020, when NGC made its first ever loss of $2.1 billion, it was this PNM government and Rowley in charge. Now that NGC has made another loss for 2023 of $1.3 billion, who is in charge? Rowley and Stuart Young. The same government that has told you that they have stabilized the energy sector, the same government that boasts that they have restored growth to the energy sector, is the very same government that has now broken what we know as NGC. Only Stuart Young and the PNM can destroy a business model that has generated billions in profits for you, the taxpayers, for you, the citizens, for decades, as the sole aggregator of natural gas in Trinidad and Tobago, to become one that is vulnerable, recording 2 major losses in 3 years. And those 2 major losses tally up to $3.4 billion that they have lost in NGC. You know what we could have done with $3.4 billion in this country? This government likes to run with a Nancy story, that the PP government, led by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, drained NGC. But the fact is, no other government has hurt the economic health of NGC like this Rowley-led government. They have created 2 losses in 3 years, $3.4 billion. In 2021, they wasted your money, $240 million in Atlantic Train 1. In 2017, their Houston negotiations, Rowley and Stewart, made NGC less competitive. However, before I highlight the failure of Minister Young, I want to respond to a man, a brazen, bold-faced man, the NGC chairman known as Dr. Joseph Ishmael Khan. I don't know if I can ask Kevin to put up that picture of him. You see that fella there? You all mightn't see him. Let me show you this fella. See that fella? That fella is trouble. That is the chairman of NGC, ladies and gentlemen. He always, I think he used to parade in Cuba South and canvassing and working for the PNM in a PNM jersey. This government, however, before I highlight, as I said, Minister Young, I want to respond to Chairman NGC. Imagine the NGC chairman had the gall to tell the media last week, as reported in the Sunday Express, that we are in silly season and that this could be another political football that the opposition wants to create. And I will expand. The NGC chairman, that fellow, and his team just denied taxpayers of $1.3 billion in profit. The NGC chairman and his team, just recorded the second loss ever for NGC. And then they tried to bully the opposition. Tonight I tell that man, the NGC chairman, this is no political football. We are an elected opposition standing up on behalf of every citizen of this nation against the path of collapse, crisis, and destruction that is plaguing NGC. No amount of spin doctrine by the NGC chairman to say that the NGC wanted a press conference of honesty will hide the fact that NGC has suffered an embarrassing loss at a time when the natural gas remains in high demand in the global market. Now, on last week, what they did is that they corralled the media. This man, the NGC president and his chairman and his team, they corralled the media in a hotel in Port of Spain. And it was behind closed doors to announce to the media that NGC lost $1.3 billion for 2023. We are coming to the end of 2024, but they are now announcing a loss of $1.3 billion for 2023. Could you imagine what else they are hiding in NGC? Could you imagine that? So this man is talking about silly season. I want to tell you what silly season is by this man. Silly season is when the chairman, this chairman at NGC earns approximately $114,500 per month in board fees. $114,500 per month in board fees. Yet, NGC loses $1.3 billion in 2023. This NGC chairman chairs 3 A companies and 13 C companies, all associated with NGC. And Mr. Jack Warner know about that. The NGC chairman sits on 16 boards. 16 boards. His monthly fees total, as I said, $114,500 per month, or $1.3 million annually in board fees alone. I don't mind taking that job. But wait, according to the Minister of Energy, in the same report, because this information is coming out through my colleague, Senator Mark, when he filed this in the Senate. So it is there in Hansard. But wait, according to the Minister of Energy, Young, in the same report, the total amount of money spent on the chairman, this man, overseas travel by NGC, tallies over $30,000 US. Over 210. Yet, we can't get Forex. But the chairman of NGC can go all over the world traveling at the expense of NGC. I'll come into Stuart Young now. But let me just respond to the NGC chairman a little bit more. This government likes to say that we are attacking individuals. But tonight, the only attack is the attack on every citizen throughout the failed management of NGC. I want to ask the NGC chairman, was the NGC bought over by the Balize House, given you full rights to run it based on your whims and fancies? The last time we checked, NGC was owned by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You have a duty to run it on proper governance. It is nothing but a political hogwash and reckless politicking that the NGC chairman wants to delay the naming of a new president. Hear this one, a new president, because he feels election is in the air. So he's denying you, the taxpayers, of naming a new president to run NGC. It's either two things. It's either this chairman knows that PNM will lose the next election, that's why he's afraid to name the new president, or he wants to collect more board fees as over $114,000 per month. Right, that too, or maybe both, according to Dr. Moonilal. So we have questions to ask about this man. Why is he delaying naming the president of NGC? Maybe, NGC might be a cash cow for this PNM government. And maybe this chairman is doing work for Stuart Young and Prime Minister Rowley, utilizing NGC. So his rationale really doesn't add up why he wants to not name the president of NGC. Okay, so that we have to keep an eye on this man called Khan, right? I want to tell you something, and while he is losing money at NGC, $1.3 billion for 2023 and 2020, and he's collecting major board fees, and doesn't want to name a president, he is going ahead with this Dragon Gas project. This man is going ahead with Stuart Young and Rowley on this Dragon Gas project. And it is unsettling and disturbing that at the NGC press conference last week, as I said, their officials are telling the country that they have significant time with the OFAC license and will continue to work as long as they are there. So they are not too sure what is happening given the geopolitics of what will be taking place next month when the USA brings in a new president called President Trump. All right, so Rowley the other day went to Barbados and he said he's going to meet some delegates, some U.S. high-ranking officials. Prime Minister Rowley went to Barbados and met a set of Democrats who lost to Trump the other day. And they have no power in the houses of the Senate in the U.S. government. So I don't know why he went to Barbados in the first place. Maybe as MP in Darjeeling said he went to pick glove. But let me turn to another individual that my colleague, Dr. Moonilal, likes to talk about. This is Minister Young. Minister Young has never delivered anything. Minister Young has no results. He has no performance. Every time, and he feels he's the expert of energy in this country. Every time energy makes a loss, he likes to blame it on a company called CGCL project. Every time energy makes a loss, they try to blame it on the PP government. I'm telling Minister Young and Prime Minister Rowley and Chairman Khan, not this time. We're not taking that. We're not taking that. We're not taking that. So ladies and gentlemen, I know my time is coming to an end. I want to ask Young, 2 weeks ago, the Prime Minister boasted about going to Barbados, as I said, and then he also said he was sending Young to Venezuela. He wanted to send Young, Young was supposed to go to Venezuela. I want to ask Minister Young, what happened in Venezuela 2 weeks ago? We know what happened. All of a sudden he came back from Venezuela, he met Maduro, and all of a sudden he has gone silent. He has gone silent. And you would have seen in the media over the last few days, certain things are happening, and I'm asking you, the people, take note of what is happening in the geopolitics between the USA, Venezuela, and we're hoping that we don't get caught up in that, because there's an article right here in the papers. I don't know if you saw it. A gentleman, a prominent human rights attorney, quits ICC. And this human rights attorney quit the ICC, which is the International Criminal Court of Justice. He is protesting that they have not brought Maduro to answer human rights issues at the ICC. So he resigned. And that's a telling point, a telling fact, ladies and gentlemen. So as I come to an end, I know my time is really, really coming close. I am saying to you, Young and this government do not have the answers. Trinidad and Tobago, we ask you to stand up to the destruction plaguing the energy sector. If this persists, it will mean further economic delay for Trinidad and Tobago. The energy sector and all of Trinidad and Tobago needs the visionary leadership of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her team. 1 week ago, you saw she exposed the massive overruns at the Tobago airport. Her determination and dedication to this country is needed more than ever. She is months away, I would say weeks away, from becoming our next Prime Minister of this country. Let us all, as a team, as unity, rally behind her to save Trinidad and Tobago, my brothers and sisters. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in 2025. I thank you. I thank you.
Yeah. Never let your problems get you down. Stay focused and hold your ground.
Brothers and sisters, put your hands together for our brother, David Lee. Our next speaker is a warrior, a fighter, a soldier. She is one of our deputy political leaders in the United National Congress. She was a former cabinet minister. She is a member of the Senate in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Warmly welcome, Sister Jearlean John.
This is a serious time, violence and crime, and a beer gun thing. The youths them up on their mind.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Honorable Leader of the Opposition and Dr. Gregory Bissessar. Honorable Members of Parliament, Chairman of Corporation, Councillors and Aldermen. LHT Massive. The best political team. You all are here. UNC. Thank you for coming out. UNC, a phenomenal political force, one that has steadfastly stayed the course with your party over the years. You have more than met the moment and passed the test. And as we get ready for general elections 2025, I can feel your energy, UNC, and I know you're ready to rock and roll. In the past, there were moments of hostilities towards you, provocation. You were denigrated, told you were not enough, yet you believed in your party. You have stood your ground and you have never wavered. UNC massive, UNC and strong. You are UNC and strong. What are we fighting for? UNC as we move into general election 2025. Speaker after speaker this evening will remind us what we are fighting for. And the honorable political leader also asserts the fight is for and on behalf of the children who represent the future of Trinidad and Tobago. UNC elections have consequences. And we have in charge a government who callously embraced a policy of who dead dead. A government who has allowed crime to run unchecked, rampant, and murderously in every community. And I cannot see any other government tolerating 5,000 murders since coming into office, with 2024 setting a whole new record, whole new macabre record. Today's headlines, the Honorable David Lee just spoke about them. The home invasion, the horror. Guardian, home invasion, horror. Newsday, crime out of control. When is enough enough? UNC, when is enough enough? You see Roodal, whose excesses, his own waste of time. PNM party his own party had to check. You remember, he has selected the entire slate of the same waste of time people to come and present themselves to the electorate. What is going to change? What is going to change? When is enough enough? Professor Selwyn Kojo, in his article published in yesterday's Express, advanced the principle that, quote, elections are about choices, and people are more likely to vote to change their situation than continue in a direction that will grow worse. As you know, this fella called Rowley has no time with building anything. He's only interested in building castles in the air, delusions of grandeur, on full display. He indicated to his party his own folly to foist Stuart Young on the population, believing that Whitehall was Buckingham Palace and that he was the Queen. And all they had to do was to say, hear ye, Stuart is king. But you know what? They check him. And now he don't know if he coming or if he going. He don't know. But the same people who allowed him to show up at the Red House, to trample on the Constitution of the Republic, they're now telling you that the PNM Constitution is more important. Because they voted and supported him. When in 2021, the THA election brought up what? 6-6. What did he do? He went to the Parliament and he passed his own law to move from 12 electoral districts to 15. All right? As a matter of fact, Martin Daly said at the time, changing the rules of a contest when replaced you does not seem to be a good governance practice. He said in relation to the increase of seats in Tobago House of Assembly and in response to other legitimate inquiries about the basis of decision it makes, the Election and Boundaries Commission has not been as forthcoming as it should. He said, I am yet to understand the constitutional basis on which the government could require the ABC to make a boundary change in Tobago in order to break the tie. That UNC was in 2021. For years, the Rowley PNM preferred governance style is that of bending the rules, ignoring best practices. It has been about metastasizing and resulting in this out-of-control crime situation and the collapse of the economy. So UNC don't high-five yet. Don't get tired. You have to work like you have never worked before to secure a general election victory. You see, authoritarians don't recognize boundaries. As Nixon said, if the president does it, it is not a crime. And you know Rowley, if he is president, he feels he's king. Keith Rowley wants people to be afraid. He wants people intimidated. Yes, his power as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is immense. But this is Trinidad and Tobago. And we are the UNC. So Rowley's power can be opposed. And we are going to oppose. We are going to oppose. We are going to oppose. Because yellow is our code. But the word on the ground is, we fed up. Right? There are no fence sitters in this election cycle. People are too frightened, too fed up, too depressed to sit this one out. Because the Rowley PNM government has destroyed our economy, our peace of mind, and our very way of life. Talk to everybody, UNC. Knock on every door. It has no PNM till a dead in this cycle. Talk to your neighbors, they want to hear from you. They want the hope that only the UNC government can bring. They want the safety and the security that only a UNC government who will be unafraid of taking the hard decisions and will deliver. They want the economy that only a United National Congress can conceive, inspire, and execute. They want a prime minister with the heart, temperament, and courage to stand in the gap for the poor and the vulnerable. One who does not weaponize our differences, but choose instead to extend a hand to all in unity, peace, and love. So talk to everybody, under the red, white, and black. People who are affected by the high food prices. Because, you know, affected by birth, boldface 4%, horrified by Rowley's money grab. Just like you, I cannot go anywhere without someone telling me of why they are voting for the UNC. They say it is personal. On Sunday morning, I was having breakfast, and a mother who worked at a particular place came up to me. And she said, I am working every single day. She asked if we had hampers. Every single day I'm working. But I cannot put food on the table for my children. She said, you all have to win. Yeah. I told her, vote. VOTE is the only four-letter word I use in these days. The policeman who said, we are with the UNC this cycle. The government take 47% for themselves and give us 4. They forget the 7. Yes. I say vote for the UNC. Businessmen who behaved as if politics was beneath them. It did not affect them. They sat down there, silent as an Elon Musk electric car. Now they're jumping out and jumping out. They are saying they can't get Forex, and Rowley will make them lose the business that 3 generations in their family worked hard to build and sacrifice to build. I said that 4-letter word again. Vote. So I said, tell your employees to vote. On Saturday, I was told of a 92-year-old lady who was evicted by her own daughter because she was not willing to give her all of her old age pension. Maurice from the great LHT heard what was happening, went to the old lady's assistance. With a friend, he moved her to a safe place. He ensured she had food to continue. And then he did his last act of kindness on that day, was to ensure she had soup to eat. And he stood there while she ate it. You see, this is what UNC does. That is why we stand. Acts of kindness, big and small. Where is Maurice? Where is Maurice? He's somewhere. There's Maurice. More Maurices are needed in this country. The kindness exhibited by Maurice is normal for most of us. It is in the UNC DNA. We believe we don't have to be mighty and powerful to serve, because everybody can be great. In the house of the rising sun, everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. That is why UNC is special. When they ask what differentiates the UNC from the PNM, the difference is the UNC's core value is to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. So you will be voting for a Prime Minister who has the grace, empathy, temperament, heart and courage to really see you. She sees every one of us, and when we are down, she does something about it. Everyone who hoped and wished and prayed with every new lie, every new distraction, profane outburst, trip to Venezuela, joyride to Washington, hoped against hope that something will come from the Prime Minister and his accompanying young salesman who marketed himself as the world's greatest salesman. You know, they went to Houston and they outsmart them, eh? They watch these people and say, look at these small islanders. Outsmart them in front of the face. They ain't bring back nothing. I think Dr. Lee just spoke about that. They have brought back nothing. But yet, on the weekend, I still see bold-faced Young posing up like a supermodel on the papers. Still talking about dragon gas. We have moved on. We have to wait and see what is going to happen. The government has changed. I mean, he and rolling some Hollywood production, flying up and down still. I don't know what it is. They're just collecting maybe this, the miles, frequent flyer miles now, as they go out. It has to be, because it cannot be anything that is productive. So as people reflect on the years 2010 to 2015, followed by the long, painful, disastrous years 2015 to current day, presided over by Keith Rowley, this has helped citizens to make a contrast. There was a time the New York Times referred to us as a tiger in the sea of pussycats. No, all that gone. But thank God for the UNC, we now have the great lion of our pooch. So nobody ain't got no fence for general election 25. Everybody just waiting to vote them out. Yes. UNC, just do your part. So UNC, in case you need to be reminded what we are fighting for, it is to put in place a Prime Minister, a leader who will stop the mess. One who will only think about how to bring relief, fairness and equity to citizens. Trinidad and Tobago is exhausted by the nonsense, and we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yes. And you know the people are saying, yellow is the code, but we fed up is running on the ground. All right, so we have a leader, and I said, we continue to look at the children they are killing. This is a new law in Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of domestic violence, murdering of our children, old people or elder people, as they said. Crime is everything, everywhere, all at once. I speak of these things because nobody on the PNM side don't talk about it. So Trinidad and Tobago is fed up of the nonsense, fed up of the pettiness, the bullying, the viciousness. This is not who we are. We know we are better than this, and that is why we fight. Again, I want to quote Professor Kojoin as I end. Elections are about choices, not necessarily new personalities, even though that will help. People in their wisdom will always choose light over darkness, humility and peace over aggression and bad mind. It is time for the PNM to exit this stage and allow us to breathe. Allow us to breathe. So UNC, keep going. This is your moment. This is your time to shine. UNC, we got this. We got this. We've been through a lot. And we know, as the Bible says, weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. So let us have an amen. Let's have an amen. So keep hope alive. I want to thank you very much. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Never let your problems get you down. Stay focused.
Let us give our tireless sister a round of applause. Our next speaker, as was told to you earlier, is the lion from Oropuch East. A former leader of government business in the House of Representatives, a former minister with responsibility for housing and urban development, the Honorable Dr. Roodal Moonilal. Put your hands together for the lion of Oropuch East.
The vocalist is here. It's the black from the hat. The Indian anthem is here.
Thank you. I feel only wanted this song to continue. We'll get to that later. Brothers and sisters, good evening in Shagwanas, the headquarters of the United National Congress. I want to begin by extending salutations. The Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, political leader of the opposition, and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, parliamentary colleagues, members of the National Executive, officers of our great party, brothers and sisters assembled here in your numbers. Our hall is completely full. In fact, at this moment now, I'm not even seeing standing room. And I know for a fact that outside of this compound, we have more people than we have inside this compound tonight. Recognize former cabinet ministers of the Great People's Partnership Administration, Mr. Jack Warner, former Attorney General, Mr. Gavin Nicholas, other distinguished members of that administration, brothers and sisters listening in on our various social media platforms in the United States, Canada, Europe, and in the Caribbean. And I know we have several folks throughout the world who are tuning in now. This evening we meet on a rainy, dark night in December to indicate to you that this is the last December of Keith Rowley as Prime Minister of this country.
Never let your problems get you down. Stay focused and hold your ground. The rise will kill you. Should make you stronger.
Political leader,
Sometimes it's like steroids,
the leader of the opposition,
I get my doses from all
the
kinds
member
of
of parliament
sources.
for Superior.
Them still can't kill me now. You see, as them stick me on the ice, so right now this storm them just like Sabo. So as the box me down, so
Former Prime Minister and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
I just won't stop. I feel like hope. Move any mountain, I trample any building like hope. Man better than monster. testings does come before blessings, but we have to be patient, yeah. Weeping and mourning in the night, but joy in the morning. But we just have to endure. You see, God, the way the night comes, so you don't really need to lie down. Them say what goes around comes right back around. I go wait until the time comes. So from sun up straight to sunset, you can catch I bus in a sweat. I must time out. I feel like move any mountain and trample any building like Hulk. Man better than monster. Dismantle any structure. Whoa, trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them. When we shut down, what's up with Jesus? All the problems, then what we gonna do? Trample them, trample them, trample them. Kick out them, kick out the problems, kick out the problems. You see, the Most High never give us more than we can bear, but He give us the strength and the will and the power and the courage to handle our problems through Him. So on the count of 4, I want everybody step on their problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trample them, trample them, trample them, trample them, handle them, handle them, dismantle them, dismantle them, trample them, trample them, trample them, kick out them, kick out the problems, kick out the problems. So as they sink you under, you float. Ride all these songs, them just like a boat. So as they push you down, so you get up. You have to wonder how you just get up. And every crack you see, you just see through. And then the help of God, you will get through. Now everybody stop. I feel like.
Let us welcome again the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. The next Prime Minister in a short few weeks. The next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. How wonderful it will be on that night of election. It would be a Monday night. Yes. A beautiful night, a Monday night. We are accustomed to Monday nights. When we get our resounding victory, and the President will be compelled to invite the Member of Parliament for Superior to take the oath of office as your next Prime Minister. But to get there, we have some work to do. We have to get rid of Keith Rowley and this bunch of incompetent and corrupt government officials. Brothers and sisters, today, I don't have to tell you where crime has reached. They broke into a church today and they stole the kiddies' snack bag that people were preparing for a party later in the week. They thief the treat bag. They hold up the circus. Today, whether we argue that the murder rate according to the TTPS is 587 or according to the Express is 604, that is irrelevant at this moment. This will be the highest record murder in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Under a minister who is asleep half of the time and half awake the next half of the time. Fitzgerald Hines is the most incompetent minister to ever collect a paycheck in the government of Trinidad and Tobago. A few days ago, did you see him, brothers and sisters? On November 24th, I think it was, he playing with 2 drones in the air. Somebody gave him 2 drones as a gift. And he playing with that in the air. I didn't want to tell him what to play with, but he playing with that. When we left the government, we left helicopters. We left functioning sea vessels for the Coast Guard. Brothers and sisters, we left equipment for the police to monitor in the prison, grabbers and jammers, electronic monitoring devices and so on. We left state-of-the-art equipment for the police and law enforcement. He playing with 2 drones a few days ago. Brothers and sisters, this level of incompetence must stop. And it must stop at the elections when it is held in a few weeks' time, we are sure. MP Lee told you, Deputy Leader Rowley and that young bosun, they're the best salesman. Well, you might want to believe them because they sell out the country. They sell out the country. And you know, as something I must tell you, before I get into the 2 issues I want to raise, I want to tell you that no government in the history of this country, whether it is the administration of Mrs. Persad-Bissessar, Mr. Manning, Mr. Pandey, George Chambers even, no government has allowed itself to be conned, to be fooled by anyone outside of this country more than Keith Christopher Rowley. He go all over the world with Stuart Young. What is that? Around the world in 80 days? What is the fella with Pat Patu, or what the fella named the short fella? With umbrella. And anywhere they go, I don't know what they're taken up with. People fool them. A fella in America has received over 10 million US dollars. His name is Art Collins. He's a lobbyist. What do you ask is a lobbyist? We don't know. For the Democrats. And he out of there now. They pay him in US dollars. That is why businessmen cannot get Forex. They can't get $200 in the bank. Art Collins gone with all. The next interesting person came from America. He put on a pinstripe suit. He took a towel in the pocket. Cut the hair and thing and groom up. And he went with the facility at Pointe-à-Pied. Liquid the gas facility down there. Nikon they call it. They plug on Nikon. They nearly blow up San Fernando. Today, we get conned out of about $100 million. In fact, they made a deal that the profits from Nikon, 25% will go to the government. What profit? We never see penny. That, brothers and sisters, is Keith Rowley for you. But something happened a few days ago I want to draw to your attention. Just on Sunday last, there was an article in the newspaper, in the Sunday newspaper, and the headline was, Warner in the mix. No, that's not Jack Warner. It's not Jack Warner. It's not Jack Warner. Warner in the mix. Referring, it couldn't be Jack Warner because it referred to Rowley friend. He is not Rowley friend. PM's friend Alan Warner contracted for controversial Tobago Airport project. Brothers and sisters, we have been watching that project closely. They tried to hide everything with that project. Everything. Everything. We had to watch Straight. We had to watch Koki Eye. We had to watch that project. There were corruption issues with land acquisition. There were corruption issues with the recruitment, procurement of contractors. Then we heard of materials. You know, since Rowley in politics, you know, material that's walk across the road. He's the only man where gravel and sand does walk. Always go missing. Always. They have in Tobago this terminal. The Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar exposed, revealed, and bust the mark on them for a massive cost overrun on that project of $500 million. $500 million. And growing. Imbert not growing, but the cost overrun growing. Imbert came to a press conference. He said, no, man, them don't know what they're talking about. It's just about, well, he used US because that song is smaller. He says just $2 million US. So they say, okay, 14 million and so on. When the cabinet note was made public, that it is not that, it is more hundreds of millions of dollars, he called a press conference an hour after. He said, well, I didn't want to say that because I wasn't sure. He wasn't sure what is in a cabinet note. His own note that he took to cabinet, argued for that note. He said he wasn't sure what was in the note. But now that he saw it on the social media, he's sure. Massive cost overruns. Then on the newspaper article, it is very interesting. This Alan Warner has contracts supplying materials to the terminal building. Now that is a terminal building. It is not an airport they're building. They pour scorn and scandal over the Piarco International Airport. And now they just boast this is the leading airport in the Western Hemisphere. They boast about that now. But they scandalize, criminalize that airport. Today, cost overrun $500 million. The friend of the Prime Minister collecting lucrative contracts, not only under one company, but two. Both companies that are supplying materials to the terminal building are the same owner. One, of course, is a straightforward case of Mr. Alan Warner Company, because it's Warner Company. But the other one is Presticon, which they purchase. And when they purchased that on a UNC platform, right here I believe it was, we raised that. Kevon has a picture to show you. When they purchased that, that is the NP site, and the Beatam, Stuart Young came to the public and he boasts, he said, we dredged the river and clear up that area and the Beatam. First time in 15 years, we happy. What he didn't tell you is the Prime Minister partner just by the company there. So what they were doing is undertaking infrastructure works to facilitate the operations of a private company run by the friend of the Prime Minister. This is a Prime Minister, I could say it inside Parliament, I could say it outside Parliament. He plays golf with people who are chairman of boards of directors. He plays golf with contractors of UDCOT while he is the minister in charge of UDCOT. If that happened under the UNC, you had to come and pick us up on the highway. They drag us on the ground. If that happens, we can't even go to a social function and socialize with people. But Rowley could get away with that. His friends, his family, they get away with that, brothers and sisters. And I ask you to keep an eye on that terminal project, the terminal building in Tobago. The next matter is a matter in the newspaper as well. I think it was the Saturday headline. We asked in Parliament a question. Now the question is a simple question. Require basic mathematics. You think that hard for him, huh? Mm-hmm. We asked Stuart Young, every time we go to Parliament and Stuart Young is not there, we say, where we gone? They say in Venezuela. We go the next week, where's Stuart Young? In Venezuela. Man, we go the next time, where? In Caracas. So, we said something is a bit fishy here. We file a question. Mr. Minister, please tell us how many times you have gone to Venezuela. How much did it cost the taxpayer? Who did you go to meet? Simple. Who did you take on your delegation? Ministers travel on a delegation, whether it's 2 people or 10, whatever. They travel with permanent secretary, legal advisor, whatever. You know, in 3 months, they have not answered that question. Well, to answer that question, a clerk will work out the answer. It will be in the cabinet note, every trip a cabinet note, how much it costs. When you come back, you will say, okay, the minister attended this, the record is, he met with X, Y, and Z, they discussed A, B, and C. Simple, but they will not answer it. The speaker had to write a letter pursuant to a standing order to compel them. But they will not answer that question. Take it from me, they will not. Because it's not they cannot. They will not. Because then Stuart Young has to say who he was meeting. He could be meeting people who are now arrested for corruption. He could be meeting people who are sanctioned by the United States. So he's meeting these characters and they will not confess in Trinidad or admit. Then he is going alone. This is a fella that be flying solo. He flying solo, he going alone. I mean, what decent man does go to a business trip alone? So brothers and sisters, he cannot answer that because then he will have to answer who he's meeting, what he's discussing, what clandestine deals they are into. And we will keep on that issue as well because there's a lot of money they have been spending. Today, as Brother Lee told you, this dragon gas business and so on, they only put in dragon gas, and you don't know when this thing will ever happen. In our grandchildren lifetime, we don't know when this is happening. I don't know if Shell has signed on to that as well. The major company involved in that has not even signed on. And with the change of administration in America, that puts it at more doubt, brothers and sisters. So that was one matter we wanted to raise this evening. And the final matter I'll raise in the minute or two remaining, that affects all of us and all of you, whether you live north, south, central, wherever, affects you. The Ministry of Works and Transport today is trying hard to match Fitzgerald Hines as the most incompetent ministry and minister in this country. Have you noticed what has happened on the highway? A small project called an extension project between Shogunas and Chase Village. Did you notice that? Yesterday it flooded away. And you had to get pumped to go in the middle of the highway. In the middle of the highway, Meru, they make a lane. So they wax the highway now, they wax it. So they put the lane in the middle there. Right? We laughing so far. And they put the lane in the highway and then the middle flood away. They had a pump yesterday pumping water from the highway. When we checked with the Ministry of Works, do you know in that project, they have started the project, stopped the project and restart the project. They use inferior materials. The engineering and design is flawed. And that will not finish. I see the fellow from somewhere around here who looking for vote on the next side. He talk about it opening for Christmas. Which Christmas? Which Christmas? Not this Christmas. That cannot open. If you open that, when you come to the end, you will jump on people's head downstairs, the flyover. You'll end up on people's head downstairs, the flyover if you open that. You cannot open that. There's a walk path in the middle. The UNC government put a walk path there because of an accident, many accidents, but a fatal accident once. And we put the walk path there. You know they're running the extension under the walk path? And forget that it's planted in the middle of the road? That is the corruption. Yeah, they're running the extension around the post. When you go to Claxton Bay, there's an iron wall in Claxton Bay facing you. You see that? There was a crash last week sometime. Injuries, not fatality, injuries, car destroyed and so on. We warned them. That project started at $4 million. It was a landslip that they had to fix. Landslip started at $4 million. Today the project now is $27 million for that project. 27 million, and the iron standing up from the ground. There's an iron wall. Nothing is happening. When that project is finished, it will be about $50 million squandered by this administration. Throughout the country, I challenge you, go by any Ministry of Works project. Watch on a board, if they have a board. The completion date, it will be last year or the year before. While that is happening, brothers and sisters, the infrastructure is the worst it has ever been. I don't have to tell you about the infrastructure. You know it. In the San Fernando waterfront project, they will come in a few days, weeks, to boast about waterfront project in San Fernando. What waterfront project in San Fernando? The water is now on the road. But you know a piece of that place built on San Fernando, on this byway place. Do you know grass started to grow on the highway? Grass is growing down there on the highway. It is flooding away. There is absolutely no development. This PNM has nothing to show. And because they have nothing to show, they will come with scandal and allegations and want to talk about all type of things, the partnership this, the partnership that. I want to tell you, remind them, your family, your friends, your community, that under the People's Partnership, we had prosperity, we had opportunity, we had jobs, we had healthcare, we had education, we built schools. Man, we built everything. On the police station, hospitals, everything we built. People had jobs. When you go around, as Jearlean told you earlier, and you speak to people, they remind you. A gentleman told me, he said, boss, I want to tell you the last time we got an increase in our pension is under Kamla, Persad-Bissessar. I tell them that will be the next time you get an increase in your pension too. That will be the next time you get an increase in your pension will be under Kamla, Persad-Bissessar as well. Everywhere you go, people come up to us. I will end with this note telling you, don't be fooled. Don't take the chain up from people, as we say. Anywhere you go in this country, sometimes it shocked me. Sometimes it shocked even me. Anywhere I go, people shake my hand, of all religion, all creed, all race, every size too. And they come up to me and they say, hey, 99% sure. I said, only 1%. He said, they go vote for you too. So, everywhere people are telling you that the PNM government under Rowley is over. They are over, and the country is dying, is crying for change. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar is the only political leader that understands the mood of this country, that understands the aspirations of this country. She has a plan. She has a plan, she has a policy, and she has the personnel to reform, to change, and to take this country and turn it around from this distressing doomsday place that we live in today. So brothers and sisters, in this season of goodwill, stay strong, be hopeful, be optimistic, be positive that in the new year, the government of Trinidad and Tobago will be the United National Congress under Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Long live the UNC. I love you all.
You down, stay focused and hold your ground.
Yes, brothers, my brothers and sisters, could you put your hands together for Dr. Roodal Moonilal? Before I invite the flaming word ministry choir to present their powerful piece on goodness of God. I would like you to join myself in once again warmly welcoming our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Dr. Gregory Bissessar. May I take this opportunity to warmly welcome the Flaming Word Choir to render that powerful piece, the goodness of God.
Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that warm welcome. It is so good to be right here. And we say thank you so much to the Honorable Political Leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, for this invitation. Of course. You know, we do have some extras in the cast, and you will be hearing from them a little later. But we want to thank God. I want to bring greetings on behalf of Dr. Dave Allen, the President, the Chief Executive Officer, the Bishop of the Flaming Word Cathedral, and the Justice of the Peace of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. He's always willing to lend his support, and I want to say thank you so much to him. You know, God has been good to us, hasn't he? And one of the most important things that, you know, even Dr. Allen would say, that we can talk about the goodness of God, but you know what? It is so important that we talk about it in the land of the living. We are in the land of the living. If you are in the land of the living, I want you to show your hands tonight. All right? And I want you to join us as we sing the song, because God has been good to us.
Love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You were close like no other. I know you as a father. I know you as a friend. I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Come on, we can do better than that. My brothers and sisters, our next speaker and final speaker for this evening's meeting is a woman of compassion, a woman of love, a woman of strength, a woman of commitment and dedication, a fighter for peace, security, and prosperity for all of the people of our beautiful Republican state. Brothers and sisters, rise as I warmly welcome our next Prime Minister, our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Warmly welcome.
Never let your problems get you down. Stay focused and hold your ground. Because what will kill you should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to the masses of UNC rank and file persons here. Chairman of our proceedings tonight, Senator Wade Mark. All our parliamentarians gathered here and former parliamentarians as well. I say season's greetings to all of you. And I'm inspired and delighted to meet with you. As I say, thank you for coming out tonight. Also, thank you to the thousands of viewers on the live streams in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean, in Canada, the USA, England, and elsewhere. They could not be with us here in person, but when you look at the views, you know they're watching on from wherever they are in Trinidad and Tobago and elsewhere. I want to really ask you, you can't see the screens, unfortunately. Is there any screen in the audience? Okay, great. So I'm going to ask them to put up a slideshow of our events in 2024, UNC events, okay? So can we get that up? Kevin, please. We stand today united because you, rank and file members, have never given up hope for a better Trinidad and Tobago. You have never given up. You have stood with our parties through these past deadly 9 years. We stand here united today because we believe the scripture which says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. In the house of the rising sun, our lights shine bright and clear, clearing away the darkness. Our light shines brighter and brighter with each passing day because of the strength and loyalty of our loving members of the UNC. Tonight I say we thank Almighty God for watching over us. We thank everyone who prays for us, who believe in us, and stand with us, because your prayers, your words of encouragement, your support have kept us and built us up stronger than ever before. Together, we are on the pathway towards government, towards victory. And I say, we are UNC and we are proud. We are UNC and we are proud. In the coming year, we'll continue our Monday night meetings, pavement reports, town halls, and I want to introduce some new formats as we go forward into the election to widen our communications reach. I want to give special thanks today, this evening, to the communications team who work with me as leader of the opposition, Sasha, Kevin, Michael, and Tank, for their hard work this year. You can also look forward to seeing and hearing our messaging and our ads on mainstream media as the election draws closer and closer. You can look at the Trinidad Express, Trinidad Newsday, TV6, CNC3, Ian Alain Network, some Guardian media radio stations, AZP News, Synergy TV, OCM radio, and independent radio stations. I want to thank the management of all these media places I've called for facilitating our ads in the new year. However, it is not my way of blaming any media house, but I have to tell you what the facts are. The Trinidad Guardian newspaper management and editors refuse our ad requests for the general election in their newspaper. Refused. And we did not want it free. We went to pay for it and they refused to give us. We did not have, so we will not have any ads in the Trinidad Guardian. A zero, zilch, nada. Look at all the others and you'll be fine. I was somewhat confused when this happened because CNC3 and some Guardian media radio stations, they took our ad, they took our bookings, they took our money, while only the Trinidad Guardian newspaper did not, even though they're all part of the same media network. Same media network. So, Guardian media insiders have informed me reliably that most of the Trinidad Guardian's management and editorial department are PNM trolls who absolutely hate the UNC. In the coming months, the Trinidad Guardian will viciously campaign for the PNM and be the PNM's media mouthpiece. So be warned, watch out for the Trinidad Guardian PNM trolls and their dirty tricks in the coming year, an election year. I say, they're good people in the Trinidad Guardian, but they're the PNM trolls who conduct what happens. Many of you know from our officials, you get questions from Guardian media, the Trinidad Guardian, don't get it wrong, not the whole Trinidad Guardian media house. The newspaper, let's get it clear, it's a newspaper, you're right. Newspaper, the print media. They say that they're trolls, they're PNM trolls that will use that media house, that newspaper, to campaign openly for the PNM. Many of my officials know you'll get all these questions. They ask you questions, you give them an answer, and when you read it in the newspaper, it's not what you said to them. Well, yeah, you could call that setup, but that's their job, I guess, as PNM trolls. So going forward, know where to find our messaging on mainstream and social media. Keep yourselves informed and updated. People are speaking out and standing up. Rowley's games and gimmicks no longer fool people. This man is just a lazy, selfish old man. Lazy and selfish. The Rowley government told people to tighten their belts. These are difficult times ahead. Stop eating macaroni pie. Use the coal pot. Park up your cars. Ride bicycles. Don't even go to the cinema. And then you know what they did? No, they raise their salaries and pensions. Raise their salaries and pensions, and I want to tell you what they're going to do to you. I'm going to do a year in review starting from January, and we are now in December. But as I close off January, I want to tell you what they're coming to do to you in January. They have laid a bill in the parliament. It is a bill that has to deal with pensions and public assistance. Moonilal just mentioned about the pensions. You know what they're coming to in that bill? This is what they do. You remember once they boasted about cutting 18,000 food guards? You all remember that? And they were so happy and proud to tell you they cut 18,000 people from getting their food cards. And they're coming now to cut your access to pensions and public assistance. Whilst they're taking the 84,000 and whatever pensions and allowances. That bill will make it harder for pensioners and persons getting public assistance to access it, to access those grants. They're monitoring how much money you have in the bank. That's what they're going to do. That's what this bill is telling us. I remember they want to go cashless. They want you to put every cent you have in the bank, remember? Remember? That is so they will have control of your money that you worked for. But the man says, I don't like my money sleeping out. Remember? I want my money. I don't like my money sleeping out. But I tell you, they're monitoring how much money you have in the bank. And if you travel abroad, they're monitoring when you travel abroad. They're monitoring if your children give you any allowance. If they help you with whatever you may have to get and do, it's coming to reduce your pension. That is their priority in 2025. So you really have to wonder where they're coming from. In the budget, Imbert complained that there are too many pensioners costing too much money annually in his budget statement. And here comes this bill. Right in December, this bill came. So what can you expect in the new year? The bill will make it harder for you to access these things and reduce your pension in the new year. That is their new year priority. But their old year priority is what? Raise their salaries. Raise their pay and offer everybody else 4%. So I just share that with you. This is what the government intends to do with you in the new year. Now, I just spoke about the frequent flyers. I just had my staff check something for me. How many days are there in 1 year? 365. Do you know how many days Rowley spent out of Trinidad and Tobago? 408 days. More than a year. So JJ about frequent flyers, they're not just flying, They're flying out and they're staying out. They're sleeping out. He don't like his money sleep out, but he's sleeping out of Trinidad and Tobago. And he's the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So, I'm telling you, the PNM is feeling it in their veins. Faris knows it. Stewart knows it. Imbert knows it. Camille knows it. Terence knows it, and all the others, they all know what is coming down in 2025. They know it. Every time the PNM calls a meeting, and they call their members and they get no response, they're feeling it. Every time they call a meeting and fewer people turn up, they're feeling it. Tonight we're feeling the energy here, where so many of you have turned out. So many of you come to share with us. And then what they've done, they've moved their meetings now. You notice they have outdoor meetings, big meetings. But their meetings are getting smaller and smaller. So what have they done? They moved them to indoor meetings in small venues because they can't get people trying to save face with their small numbers. Their own members are fed up and feeling the pain. When they refuse to give workers properly salary increases, but Rowley himself wants to take $50 million for fetting. You all remember that? Fetting and rum drinking, everyone feels it. When the country raises gas prices, Imbert 5 times, everyone feels it. When the country records almost 5,000 murders under the PNM, everyone feels it. And when they raise food prices, electricity prices, water rates, everyone feels it. So I think people have made up their minds to vote for a party and for a leadership that care for them. I see this election as a turning point where we rise or fall as a nation. This election is a turning point where we sink or sail as a people. This election is the turning point where we decide to choose light over darkness. This election is where we stand together, united, focused, strong, bold, and confident. So I ask you, stay calm, stay focused, be ready. The bell will ring at any time. Be ready. For 10 years of nothing, what is our answer? Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. 10 years of arrogance, incompetence, wickedness, and spite. What do? We vote them out. Vote them out. For all the lies and the cry and the mama guy, what do? Vote them out. Vote them out. And let me tell you why. On top of all the other reasons, let me give you this for this year alone. Far less for the other. When they come promise you manna from heaven, remember what they couldn't give you in 9 years, they can't give you in 9 weeks, huh? They've been there 9 going on 10 years and could not deliver. There's not a single thing they can put their hands on that they've built. Nothing. That stands. Even that terminal building will collapse if they continue to do the scrappy work that they're doing there with the cost overruns. So they cannot point to any legacy that they have, but this is their legacy, I'll tell you. Year in review, 2024, 12 months of this government. January, the Paria fiasco. Remember that? Look at the screen. 2024 began with one of the most damning condemnations of the PNM government when the country was finally able to see the findings of the Lynch Commission of Inquiry in the 2022 tragic, horrific deaths of the Paria divers. The report found that Paria, Rowley's pet company, was guilty of gross negligence with respect to the divers and the way they processed them that they ended up dying. They should be prosecuted. They spent $16.9 million taxpayer dollars to date. The families of these divers are still waiting on justice because the board of directors and the senior management under whose watch this tragedy occurred were never fired, and they're still living off taxpayers' hefty salaries. Rowley's golfing partner, here we go again, lawyer, Eater Food lawyer Gilbert Peterson. You know how much he was paid? $8.9 million. Not 1 cent to the families of the divers, not 1 cent. $8.9 million to represent Paria in the Commission of Inquiry. The divers' families have received nothing. Paria's chairman, Newman George, another golfing partner of the Prime Minister, wasn't he the one who also went with him on when he went for his medical? Or am I talking to you here? Yes, they had all gone with Rowley for medical. Yes, all the golfing partners went. But the chairman, Newman George, who had oversight of this debacle, Rowley's very close friend. And let me remind you, Rowley and his two partners, Eater Food, Gilbert Peterson, lawyer, and Newman George, guess what? They both have townhouses in Inez Gate in Tobago. Side by side, you know what a townhouse complex is like? Just like where you're sitting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the road. They're neighbors all. The golfing partners, there's 2 I've named, they're more to name in a moment. So this fiasco in January of this year will go down as our nations in our history as one of the most barbaric, inhumane acts by any government. That is the legacy of this PNM. That is the legacy. February, $1 million wooden ladders. Remember those, Gavin? $1 million wooden ladders. In February, the PNM Rowley government, scandals continued when the country was made aware of the $1 million unusable ladders. Remember, they bought 20 wooden ladders for $999,000. That's $1 million from Amalgamated Security for the fire service. They could not use these ladders as they were unable to fit on the fire trucks. So that's $50,000 for a wooden ladder. Don't have me say that, please. You want to make a joke, you want to make a joke. These wooden ladders couldn't be used at all, not fit for purpose. Fire officers reportedly feared using ladders because they would risk getting injured. I am told that the ladders have been dumped at the back of the fire services headquarters. So that was February 2024. In February 2024, the Integrity Commission and the Auditor General's Office launched probes into this misuse of taxpayers' funds by the PNM government. March, SSA scandal. In March 2024, the country woke up one morning to hear from Rowley that the director of the SSA, Major Roger Best, Pastor Ian Brown, a special reserve officer assigned to the SSA, Security Supervisor Portel Griffith, and Sergeant Sherwin Waldron, assigned to the SSA, was sent on leave over what we later find out that they revealed to be a planned religious coup against the Rowley government. That was the scandal in March, SSA. Up to today, no one has been charged. No one has been charged. Nothing has come of that. He just fired all of them. Reminds me of what other people have done in other countries like Venezuela, where the dictators move out, key personnel everywhere. That was one of the most baffling stories to come out of a government, with murder and mad people as the star characters, which shows that Rory cannot even control an organization on his own nose, because he is the chairman of the National Security Council. No wonder we have unprecedented levels of crime and murders under this government. Moving along, April, dead babies at the NICU. You remember that? You see, we forget these things, you know. And I'm just doing this per month, not per week or per day. The bacchanals continue, bacchanal 1, bacchanal 2, bacchanal 3, bacchanal 4. We're in April, bacchanal 4, April. Dead babies at the NICU. In April 2024, the country was shell-shocked to learn about the deaths of 19 babies at Port-au-Prince General Hospital in the NICU. And you see, that is what spite and malice and ill will does. Because we had built the Couva Children's Hospital, which was fully equipped for children, had its own NICU, own unit there. Dr. Bodo would know. I'm seeing Dr. Bodo somewhere. He would know. Many of the doctors here and elsewhere will know. It was fully equipped to treat with those kinds of situations. So this heart-rending tragedy caused an uproar in the country. A PAO investigation into the matter later found, among other things, this is what they found, PAO. Up to now, we don't know which of this has been dealt with, which is the terrible Terence is doing. Some people call him the Minister of Death. But man, you should hang your head in shame and never show your face again when 19 newborn babies died under your watch and you still sitting there and going back for a seat. St. Joseph, what we say? Vote them out, vote him out, vote him out, vote him out. These were the issues that the PAO found, like this: pure negligence, active surveillance of monthly HAI bloodstream infection, BSI rates, is not conducted. This is at the Port-au-Prince Hospital. This is what they found when they did it. Outbreak identification and number of outbreaks in the last year data are not reported. Microbiology stood at 40% compliance. The 40%, you're less than 50%, you're half dead, or more than half dead. 40% non-compliance. External performance evaluation and internal quality assessment are not performed. Policies and procedures for prevention of surgical site wound infection in OB theater is not done. There was an inadequate ratio of nursing professionals to patient ratio. That is the hallmark of the Rowley government and terrible Terence Singh. They are baby killers and harbingers of death and destruction in every sector in our country. That was April. Moving along. Bacchanal 5, the Auditor General's report scandal. Missing $3 billion. In May, our country learned that one of the biggest thefts in our history when the Auditor General revealed that $3 billion of taxpayers' money was missing from government statement of revenue. That wasn't made this year. Up to now, we can't find this money. Where the money gone? Where has this $3 billion gone? We will find out, because when we form the government, we'll be a thorough criminal probe. Where is this $3 billion? You know how much we could have done with $3 billion? Build schools, fix roads, yes. Improve the healthcare system. So much we could have done. Where's it? Box drains, yes. For the flooding, you're right. So much. We found out then there's $3 billion money missing. This, well, all right, we'll do an investigation there too. When we found this out now, it only came to light after Imbert refused to lay in Parliament, as the law provides, the Auditor General's report. Because what they were trying to do, he was trying to force the independent Auditor General to toe the line and cook the books. She refused to do it. The Rowley government faced allegations that it was bullying the Auditor General after it sent a pre-action protocol letter when the Auditor General refused to accept new statements which were submitted after that understatement of revenue. And when it was discovered, they tried to send some new ones and tried to force her to redo the report. What they had to do eventually is that come back to Parliament, come to the Parliament. These accounts were not accepted. The government moved Parliament to extend the time for the Auditor General to present a report after the time set by the law of the land. That matter is now before the courts, but it exposed the Rowley government as liars who up to now cannot say where the $3 billion have gone. This thieving PNM government has gone with $3 billion missing. But they will not escape. They could run, but they cannot hide. They can run, but they can't hide. We will go after them. We look for your money. That is your money. You pay those tax dollars. So, we still reach only half the year. We know in June. Finish me. $3 billion missing. June, Jearlean. Jearlean, you remember Jearlean? In June, Bacchanal number 6 occurred. Rowley tried to get Jearlean Steel and Power Limited, led by its chairman, Indian businessman Naveen Jindal, to come to Trinidad to buy the Petrotrin refinery to process Maduro's Venezuelan oil. Jindal is internationally discredited. He is facing criminal charges back in his homeland of India. A Forbes report said the federal investigator booked Jindal for what it claims were kickbacks paid by him to an ex-minister in exchange for being granted coal mining rights. The question now is, who may have been in line from this thieving government to get kickbacks for the Petrotrin refinery? We called them out. We all did. We called them out. We called on Rowley to address allegations of corruption involving Jindal and questioned his reported connection, this is Jindal, with Venezuela, Maduro's Venezuela. And then Jindal backed out of the corrupt deal because we exposed him. We exposed Jindal and he had to drop out and run. We exposed him. Remember that. You know, say, what is the opposition doing? You know how many exposures we have had? And that is the job of the opposition. A loyal opposition is to get government accountable, keep the government transparent and accountable. That's part of our job. July, Bacchanal 7. FUL for Alan Warner. Not Jack, Alan Warner that MP Moonilal spoke about. In July, Rowley and the government's blatant corruption were in full glare of the public when it was revealed that Rowley and Stuart Young, in his capacity then as a National Security Minister, Stuart Young, they had both sent messages to former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith for granting an FUL license and a blasting license, and a blasting license for Rowley's friend Alan Warner. The message was sent to Griffith in the morning, and by evening, Griffith had approved the FUL and sent it to Rowley's special branch officers to hand deliver to Alan Warner, all in one day. All in one day. All in one day to hand deliver to Alan Warner. This is the same Alan Warner Dr. Moonilal just spoke about. And can I tell you, by the way, Alan Warner was the owner of the townhouses in Inez Gate, where all the fellas, the girlfriend partners, line up. Inez Gate. Corruption and abuse and misuse of office by all three office holders for FULs. While the average law-abiding citizen, you are denied the right to access a legal firearm. We say the UNC, when you put us in office, you will be entitled to apply for, and once you qualify, you will get a legal firearm to protect. You know, Brian Biggs' aunt, elderly lady, throat slit. If there was someone in that house with a licensed firearm. I saw a video where they took a man out of they dragging him like an animal. If there was someone else in that home with a licensed firearm. So it's for defense, to protect your loved ones, to protect your family. August is which month of the year? Which August? 8. Bacchanal 8. HGC, $475 million contract for Chinese contractor. In August, the government was once again caught in corruption when Rowley's personal friend, executive chairman of NH International, Emil Lyer, said, this is his friend said it, he was deeply concerned about the intention of the HDC to award China Harbour Engineering Company Limited nearly $500 million contract to construct houses in Santa Rosa, even though the Chinese company submitted the highest bid of $475.8 million, when local contractors' bids were much less. Okay? By the way, the chairman of HDC is another partner of the Prime Minister. His name is Noel Garcia, Rudy. HDC Noel Garcia. Now, he doesn't own a townhouse at Inez Gate. But I'm told, and I'm asking if this is true, he has purchased a piece of land in Tobago that was the maker of the land date scandal, if you remember, on that same compound. Senator Mark sent me some documents which I haven't had a chance to look at very carefully. But it says all in the family, all in the government partners and friends. And this bid, shame and scandal, the bid was scuttled after the Office of Procurement advertised they were going to review and investigate the award of this contract. HDC panicked and dumped the contract and the contractor. So it's a kickbacks, corruption, again, the legacy of this Rowley P&M. Legacy of the P&M. September 2024, property tax payment fiasco. In September, Rowley government's bacchanal scandalous and chaotic nature was again on display. Ministry of Finance implementation of the property tax payment system. We saw tens of thousands of citizens suffer from unpreparedness and poor implementation. The property tax would only be paid in person, with cash or check, at a BIR office. The deadline then set in September was for September 30. Caused thousands of persons to flood the BIR offices to pay up because they didn't want to have to deal with the penalties for non-compliance, because it was at the end of September. People were forced to get into the lines. They didn't have accommodation. You remember, out in the hot sun or the rain, punishing heat, unresolved queries, other traumas to pay property tax, which was then used to give Rowley and his ministers a pay increase. Think of all that. All that property tax they collect every month. They say, deadline is the month. Deadline. We're doing that every month. So what is the new deadline, Jayanti? December. You're not going to. So they're scraping every cent, forcing you, because if you don't comply, they could seize your house, they could sell your house. It's a very frightening state of affairs, and that's where they are. So, again, in all its backwardness, full display. And again, who suffers? You. The citizens suffer. October, $50 million FET money. $50 million FET. In October, another glaring example of the Rowley government's corruption and wastage of tax dollars, full display. In the budget documents, Imbert announced a staggering increase in the entertainment budget in the Prime Minister's office, which was $890,000 for the year 23 to 24, 1 year. They raised that to $50 million for the year 24, 25. $50 million parang Saturday or when? Christmas party, I think was Saturday. Yeah. Yeah. In my budget response, I accused the Prime Minister of fetting while the public, urging the public hold strain, tough economic times. I noted that the $50 million earmarked for official events was put it together with what they gave for strengthening child protection system. So $50 million for the office of the Prime Minister for fat and drinking rum, and $1 million allocated to strengthen child protection systems. Where are the priorities? A shame. A shame. They cut what by 5? They cut the Children's Authority, tell me too, $5 million. But $50 million for what? Fat and drinking rum. That's the official entertainment, but it's an election year. So let's see, Mr. Rowley, careful, you're spending our $50 billion this year. We're coming for you. We are coming to find out where this money's gone. Where is it going? So $50 million for fat and drinking, while citizens are told to do what? Tighten your belt and hold strain. That is the nature of the PNM. They choose fatting and rum drinking with their PNM pedophile friends over financing children's welfare and development. November. Now the year isn't finished yet, huh? November. Pay rise. In November, Rowley and his PNM MP's greediness was evident for all to see when they accepted the salary increases proposed by the SRC. This government raised their own pay after bankrupting the country. This was after offering workers a measly 4%, telling everyone to hold off until when? 2027. This is one of the most tone-deaf, callous, selfish moves ever made by a Prime Minister and his government. This, when the Minister of Finance was asked about it in an interview, or when he was dealing with the same Tobago airport scandal. When he was asked, he said, the Prime Minister has already made a statement. I have nothing to add. And I think the reporter got buffed, because she asked again, but what is your view on this? You were saying the Treasury has no money, we can't do anything. What is your... I have nothing further to say. The Prime Minister has pronounced. So what is this, a dictator? According to somebody who spoke earlier, the king and queen, he decrees. The rest of the cabinet has no say in this. And I'm asking tonight whether the young MP, Leon's is his name? Adrian Leons, did not get back his seat because he was the only PNM MP who said he did not think they should take the salary increase at this time. It was a newspaper. He's the only PNM MP who said we should not take this pay increase at this time. So I don't know if that's why he's going back his seat or if there's more in the motor than the vessel. So here we come now, December. We're in December. Tobago Airport. Tobago Airport. This month, first week, December, I exposed the massive cost overruns at the airport. And as I said, the Tobago A&R Robinson International Airport project to the tune of about $500 million. And whilst I mentioned the name of Mr. Robinson as a good son of Trinidad and Tobago, and especially of Tobago, today is his birth anniversary, today the 16th. We're also the date of an election in the past. So we named the airport A&R Robinson after Robinson as a son of Tobago, who made Trinidad and Tobago proud. We named it. I understand they're rushing this airport, Dr. Moonilal and Mr. Warner, so Rowley could put a cornerstone with his name on it. A plaque. He wants it, he's desperately pushing to get this airport to put this plaque. Put the plaque. I didn't hear that. The Prime Minister's best friend, Moonilal, told us, is again at the center of another scandal. He's a big contractor on the project. Now, right after we exposed them, Ahmed came to lie. I think Moonilal dealt with it, so I won't go into detail. I think you all can remember. Then after the leaked cabinet note proved he was lying, he came with his tail between his legs to backtrack, and admitted the cost overruns. There is massive corruption going on in this project. I have called for a criminal investigation to this matter, and I maintain now that Imbert must be fired. But if he's not fired, we will vote them out. Come election, we vote them out. I saw the media recently dredging up a failed businessman, Mikey Joseph, to defend the PNM on this project. If the best person that the PNM could find to defend them is this total waste of time person, we know the PNM is in deep trouble, deep, deep trouble. So as I come to a close at the end of the year, I've already given you a preview of what is going to be happening in January with the pensions and the public assistance. Pensions and public assistance. Yes. Overrun into the next year. So I have some special awards I want to give out tonight with your help. That is 12 months of PNM scandal, same as scandal in the PNM family, thieving and corruption in 2024, which shows that they are running our country to the ground with their laziness, greediness, and incompetence. So let's give out the end of year awards. 1, Liar of the Year. The award goes to Colin Imber for lying about the missing $3 billion and the $500 million for the Tobago cost overrun. 2, Most Vile and Evil Person of the Year. I have another one for Rolly, don't worry. This award goes to Terence Dialsing for the death of those babies. Dengue deaths. Thousands of hospital deaths because of his incompetence with the healthcare. 3. They're baby killers. 3. Most Incompetent Person of the Year. All of the above, I guess. This award, we have a multiple tie here. Hines, Scotland. David West, Police Service Commission, Christine Kangaloo, and Keith Rowley for the violent crime crisis, most incompetent. Biggest hungry mouth, Eat a Food Fake Elite of the Year. The award goes to, we have a tie. Gilbert Peterson and Douglas Menz and Kerwin Garcia. These are the Eat a Food lawyers. The award for the most confused and senile note-taker or writer, another time. Reginald Limo Amo and the Trinidad newspaper editor. Six. Worst political miscalculation. In this award, we have a tie. Stuart Young's grab for political leader and prime ministership. Worst political miscalculation. He narrowly beat a fella from the next party, I won't say who, and Keith Rowley for taking the SRC increase. 7, Crybaby of the Year. The award goes to Keith Rowley for every postcard media presser and Prime Minister's questions in Parliament. Keith Christopher Rowley. Well, Keith and me are moving faster than you are, it appears. That was worst Crybaby of the Year. The award goes, as I said, to Keith Rowley. Every postcard media briefing, he's forever buffing somebody and crying. And if I get left out for 5 minutes, by the next 5 minutes, he's complaining about everything I say and do. Most corruption accusations in 2024. The award goes to Alan Warner, Warry's best friend, for corruption accusations over contracts from the PNM THA, the firearm users license, charged for illegal quarrying in Trinidad and now accused of thieving quarry material in Tobago. He's been accused of that as well. So, that wasn't in 2024. Avery Jearlean was not in 2024. Most greedy and lazy person, we have another tie. The award goes to the entire PNM government. Final award, before I give us another special one. Final award, Bubbly of the Year. The award goes to, we have a group winner, all the people who still support Roodal and the PNM. And a very special award, the person who raises my blood pressure every time, all the time, Kevin Gibbs. Give him a round of applause. So, I say, together we are united. We are on the road to victory. Side by side, we stand united. We stand for justice. We stand for equality. We stand for progress. We stand for the common man and woman. We are the United National Congress. In the UNC, every creed and race find an equal place. In the UNC, every creed and race have equal opportunities. In the UNC, every creed and race can have the opportunity to prosper. So as I leave you tonight, I want to again thank you for your inspiring, unwavering faith and support of our great UNC party. The road towards winning government and restoring good, all-inclusive, effective governance and progress to all citizens of our great nation is not going to be an easy one. But we will overcome and win once we commit to joining together and fighting with strength, determination, and courage. Only with all hands on deck can we rebuild Trinidad and Tobago after this decade of destruction by the Rowley PNM. Let me remind you, as I always do, that you have had leaders before me. You will certainly have leaders after me, but you will never, ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. On behalf of my family, on behalf of the UNC, and on my own behalf, I wish all of you a very safe, Merry Christmas, and a bright and prosperous New Year. I thank you, and may God continue to bless you.
Never let the problems get you down. Stay focused and hold your ground. Because what will kill you should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me now.
Do you know that in 2016, 66 liters of diesel cost $100? Today, under the PNM, you get 20 liters of diesel for $100. The diesel you paid $100 for under the UNC now costs $327 under the PNM, which directly affects the cost of food, transport, and services. Guess who I'm voting for next time?